Hello, hello. This is Darryl Brown with my advanced sports reporting class, Mr. Al and Lane. How are y'all doing today?
Hey, we're doing well. How are you?
Good.
I'm doing good. We are here to talk everything LC, NFL, whatever sports you may have. We are here to talk about, and we're going to dive in with some LC football. They took a heartbreaking loss over the weekend, and now they are 0-4. What are y'all thoughts on what can happen for the remainder of the season and how they are going to come up after this adversity?
Hey, Darryl, before we get into it, are all the levels up? Or all the microphones are up? They're not on clip?
Nope, they're not on clip.
Okay. Sorry about that, everyone. I was hearing the music coming through. So I think we're good now. It's a tough position for the team to be in. It's a transition into NAIA, which you're really facing a lot of programs you've never faced before. So it's a completely different year in that respect. They're kind of getting that rude welcome so far into the NAIA level. But what do? You got to keep working hard, keep just doing what you do well, and get that perfected. They've had some injuries that have certainly taken a toll on the team as well. But it's a long season, and you just have to keep working hard and keep building.
What are your thoughts, Lanester?
I think that they'll get it going once they get used to the NAIA schedule and the travel, because they had to go all the way to Arizona this past week. And they got a home game this week, so it should be good.
Yeah, this week they are facing the number 16 team in the country right now with Ottawa, Arizona. Last week they were 18, and they just finished facing the number 22 team in the country in Arizona Christian, who is the preseason favorite in the Sooner Athletic Conference, the new conference that only LC football is in. And right now, with the standings, LC is dead last with two other teams who have not won any games so far in Texas College and Lyon College. But looking at the rest of their schedule, they faced some of the toughest teams already in Southwestern Assemblies of God, Arizona Christian, and now they have Ottawa University of Arizona. I'm hoping that they can turn this season around and get the upset at home, which is a noon kickoff, by the way, and start to make things roll. Now, Langston, one of the teams that they have to face, is going to be here for homecoming. They've only allowed 13 points the entire season. Even though it's only been 4 games, they've allowed 13 points and scored 104.
Wow.
Arizona Christian has scored 163, and Texas Wesleyan has scored 115.
Yeah, like I said, having to face these teams for the first time, it's going to be a bit of an adjustment. That's going to be the case. So, the old cliche, you play it a game at a time, and that's what you really have to do in a season like this one. Ottawa ranked number 16 in the country, the Ottawa Spirit, and they're out of Arizona as well. So the reverse of what LC had to face, now they're coming here, a team that's on the road, and hopefully that travel and the home field advantage for the Wildcats will help them.
I hope so too, because LC needs this. If they can just get 3, 4, if they can go 500 on the season, it'll say a lot. Or they can, have a winning season just by running the table the rest of the season. And it'll be the first winning season since Dennis Dunn was here. Right. And I'm not including that 5-5 season JC had here with all those studs. That doesn't count. So It should be a good one. There's going to be a noon kickoff at Wildcat Field. Please make sure you get your seats, and you can now pay with credit card at the gate, which is something very, very new that LC is starting to do.
Yeah.
And speaking of taking it one step at a time, trusting the process, LC Soccer kicks off Red River Athletic Conference play today. Men's and women's versus Hudson Tillotson at 1 o'clock for the women and 3 o'clock for the men. Both of our teams are number one in the conference right now, with the women being 4-1, their only loss coming to D1 Lamar, and the men's being 5-1 with their only loss coming to former ASC rival Belhaven. And I know Mr. Al has been here longer than both of us as far as Central Louisiana is concerned and knowing more about LC soccer. So my question is to you, what would be your slight prediction for this game? Hudson Tillotson is 4-1 right now as far as the women are concerned, and 3-1 as far as the men are concerned.
So it sounds like they've got a pretty good team as well. And this, I think, will be a good matchup, a good indicator, excuse me, for the Wildcats of where they are at in terms of this conference. So, I don't have much of a scouting report on Hudson Tillotson's soccer program, but I know that in basketball they've played LSUA several times, and it seems like a pretty formidable school. So hopefully the Wildcats will just come out and have a good game, both the men and the women today, and you know what? It's going to be perfect weather for a couple of soccer matches. So I hope they get a good crowd out there at Wildcat Stadium as well.
What are your thoughts, Lane? How do you feel like your Wildcats might do today?
Based on what you've been saying about how good they are, all the people that they've gotten from different countries and the coaching staff for both teams, I feel like they can get the win, both teams.
Okay, so let's move on to the most important thing of this entire, and I mean this entire sports show, high school football.
There you go.
That's right.
We had a tough matchup with Pineville and Tioga, so I know Lane want to brag about that, so I'm gonna let you take it.
Well, it was a great defensive game. Tioga won 7-6, and only because of a missed extra point. That was actually ran back for usually it'd be 2 points, but high school they don't do that. But the Indians look good. They did a complete different offense than what they were doing. Excuse me.
Tioga did or Pineville did?
Tioga did.
Okay.
The first 2 weeks, Tioga was passing almost every down, running not even 25% of the plays were run plays. But then this week they came out with a complete different offense, and they probably threw the ball about 10 times.
Wow.
And that's a complete different change for Tioga to do, because they've had Logan Dubois and Blake McGehee the past 8 years. So, and now they got.
So is that a function of the team doesn't have the weapons to have the passing game, and just maybe the running game suits them a little better with the players they have?
In my opinion, I think we do have the pass game. We can do it. But our quarterback, Gabe Sellers, he's coming along good since over the summer. And then I've seen him progress over just these past 3 games with the decisions he's making. And usually he would want to run more, but now he's wanting to stay in the pocket more and throw the ball. And I give it to the credit to Coach Gatlin, seeing that we have good running backs. We got at least 3 or 4 that can run. And we're just going up the middle, run plays, and it's working. It worked against Pineville. That doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody the rest of the season, but I've seen Coach Gatt change the plays, change the offense, basically completely.
Is that Coach Gatlin, who was the quarterback at Ash a few years ago?
Yes.
Okay. Because his dad is the principal of Menard, so I knew you weren't meaning him.
Right, yes.
But I'm trying to remember his first name.
CJ.
CJ, that's it. It's been a few years. So that's interesting that they're going with that format, and it looks like the defense is pretty good, too.
Yeah, the defense is lights out.
I mean, play to your strengths, right?
Yeah, I mean, the defense was our strengths the first 2 games, and we just couldn't get it done on offense. But like Coach Cook said, Coach Cook, head coach Tioga, he said he wasn't really able to coach the first 2 games because he had COVID the week before that, the Jamboree. So he wasn't even there for the Jamboree. He wasn't there for most of the practices for week 1. And then week 1 game, he really wasn't coaching up to his potential. He said that himself. He takes the blame for the loss versus Como in week 1. And then week 2, we played Bird. And that was his first week of actually getting his strength back.
Right.
And he still blames it on himself that he wasn't up to his full potential. And then this week we changed up the offense, and defense was still playing like they've been playing, and we got the win.
So, talking about this week then, y'all are on the road to face the Manny Tigers.
Yep.
Team loaded with several Division I level talented players. So, what are your thoughts going into that game?
I mean, people can say all they want about it's Manny and they're 2A, but it doesn't matter because that's all about the size of the school, not the
talent.
The talent of the school, right?
I saw where Coach Cook said, this is not your average 2A school.
That's exactly
Tioga's
right.
4A, right? Okay.
Yeah. So Manny's been winning championships for the last 10 years. Probably not every 10 years, but pretty much 50%, at least 50% of the 10 years.
Right.
So Manny's a really good team, and if we don't take them seriously, we can slip up and take a loss to them.
Like Pineville and Jamboree.
Right. So it's going to be a fun game. I'll be there tomorrow night in Manny, supporting the Indians. So it's going to be a fun game.
So let that be our first game of the hot pick. Who you taking?
So
Who you taking, Mr. Al?
I'm gonna go Manny.
Okay.
Sorry, no offense.
I understand.
And Coach Cook will be mad at me if he finds out. So don't tell him.
I ain't gonna tell nobody this. This radio station only reaches 5 miles anyway. So
Hey, but we're on the internet. So
hey, I'm fine with that too. I say
worldwide reach.
I say Mandy takes it just because Manny's the underdog in the game just because they're a 2A school.
Right.
Even though they have a few championships, they are still the underdog. Peabody at Ash. We know this is an obvious pick, but go ahead.
Yeah, Ash is going to put 50 on him.
That's an understatement. Come on, man. For anybody from Peabody listening, I love Peabody. I love y'all band. Y'all are great, but I'm sorry. Ash is gonna put up 50 is like a throw in the face. I'm gonna say at most 80.
I think Coach Bachman's going to show a little remorse. It'll be about 56 to 13.
And both of those touchdowns will come from Arthur Lovelace. Who you got, Mr. Al?
Yeah, you got to go with Ash in this one. Peabody coming off a 43-22 loss to Washington Marion. It really is a mismatch going into this one. And, I agree. I don't think Coach Bachman's the type that's going to rub it in or anything like that.
Right.
So they get up big. He'll start to call off the horses, put some of the younger players in. So, those games are good too when you're trying to evaluate other talent that could help you later in the season.
Right.
I agree with that, but his freshman QB does have at least one touchdown thrown in every game this season. Buckeye at Bolton.
Oh,
Buckeye coming off a 48-20 loss to Pine Prairie. Bolton lost 50-14 to North Caddo. I kind of feel like these two teams are evenly matched.
Yeah.
Even though Bolton's 4A and Buckeye is 3A, kind of scuffling a little bit. I'm going to go Bolton in this one.
yeah. Both of these teams I've seen over the years because both of them's been in Tioga's district, separate times. But I'll go Buckeye.
I say Bolton has a bigger chip on their shoulder, so I'll go Bolton. Marksville at Church Point.
Well, Marksville lost last week to Ash 49-7, so clearly they were overmatched in that game, and they're a better team at their level than that, having to play up to a 5A school. And at the same time, it doesn't look right now like it's the Marksville level of talent maybe that we've seen in recent years.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know who'd you say they're playing again?
Church Point.
Church Point. I don't know anything about Church Point.
Yeah.
So you might as well just go Marksville.
I'll go Marksville.
Yeah, Marksville.
Bo Shanae at Grant.
Boshen.
Bullshit.
Shin.
Go Grant. I'm still hyped about Grant this year. Just they're 3-0. They're still coming off that great victory versus Montgomery, beating Montgomery for the first time in 8 years.
I think they had a forfeit win last week
Yeah,
because of COVID.
COVID hit whoever they were
win.
playing, and they took the win. I saw most of the players at the Tioga game. So, yeah, still going for Grant, Brady Parker, Connor Augusto, Mark McCoy, Mason Scroggs. I coached all them boys, and
Wow.
so and they're starting for Grant now. I'm proud of them.
How about them boys?
Yep.
We're not talking about the Cowboys because we know we're going for teams who actually win.
Cowboys are 1-1, man.
1-1.
Hey, that's fine, but they
They have a better quarterback than the Saints.
I can agree with that. All right. Menard at Lakeview. Well, I say Grant's going to win that game because I saw their offense last year versus St. Mary's, I think it was, and it was incredible.
Yep.
Menard at Lakeview, I say Menard because they beat Lakeview last year in a rain game at Menard with rain up to their ankles. So, I feel like they can do it again.
I agree.
I'll go with JC on that one, Menard.
Okay, and last but not least, Leesville at Pineville.
Leesville last week with a 50-14 win over LaGrange, and we already said that Pineville lost to Tioga 7-6. I'm going to go Leesville in this one.
Leesville is in Tioga's district, and they're a tough 4A team. That's a hard one to pick because based on what I saw last week with Pineville, they're very good defense, and Bruce Jackson, the running back, was running all over us, but then he got hurt. So,
You mean for Pineville?
right, for Pineville, if Bruce Jackson's back, that's going to help them a lot because he was gaining a lot of yards on us before he got hurt. But I'll go with the underdog in Leesville.
I will take Pineville.
All right.
Let's get into some quick college hits. McNeese at Incarnate Ward.
I'm going to go McNeese.
Yeah, I have no idea who the other team is, so McNeese.
Garnet where?
Nichols at North Alabama.
I'm going to go Nichols.
Nichols, yeah.
You have your Tigers going at it this weekend. LSU and Mississippi State. Who you got?
Ordinarily I'd say without question LSU. They're scuffling a little bit. So, still trying to find their identity as a team this year. But I'm going to say go Tigers.
What's Mississippi State's record?
Let's see. 2-1.
2-1.
LSU is also 2-1.
Do you know who Mississippi State played?
Let's find. They've played Tech, North Carolina State, and their lone loss was to Memphis.
Oh man. I'll go with LSU.
Hey, did you see where Cade York, the LSU kicker, signed an endorsement deal with Velveeta?
Velveeta, he's a queso kicker now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Shout out to Cade York, give me some free cheese.
There you go. I mean, it's kind of a cool little campaign, and especially with the kind of guy that he is. So, good for him.
Hey,
Queso
long as he gets that bread, that's all that matters.
Grab your little rotel, get you some salsa, get you some chips.
Yep.
You're good.
You have a fiesta.
That's it.
I'm gonna go Mississippi State.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go Mississippi State. I don't think LSU has really done much of, and I don't think LSU is gonna have a good. They'll have a decent year, but not like a spectacular year that they're supposed to have.
Tigers are 2.5-point favorites in that game.
See,
Doesn't mean anything.
Nope.
It's a kind of game too that Mississippi State really gets up for. So.
ULL and Georgia Southern.
Cajuns.
Go Cajuns.
Go Cajuns. Levi Lewis out of Scotlandville and a former Warwick Dunn winner in Baton Rouge. Last two college picks are Tulane and UAB, LA Tech and North Texas.
I'm going to go Tulane and Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, same for me.
Same for me. Well, a quick NFL pick'em tonight. We have the Panthers and we have the Texans.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Panthers beat up on the Saints last week.
Got to say LSU.
Yeah, and the Texans are going with, I believe, a rookie quarterback tonight, right?
David Mills.
David Mills. Where did he play college at?
I think North Carolina.
That's what I was going to guess. So, yeah, I mean, these Thursday games never seem like they have a lot of great football being played. The teams just don't seem as well prepared. But I mean,
Stanford.
Stanford.
Sam Howell's at North Carolina.
Okay. So now I'm gonna go based on last week alone. I'm gonna give the edge to the Panthers.
If we look back, past few years, the quarterbacks that were rookies, when Tyrod Taylor gets hurt as the starter, you got Baker Mayfield and you got Justin Herbert.
Wow. Tyrod Taylor.
They take over for Tyrod Taylor.
He might not want to get hurt these days.
So if history plays out, David Mills might be a good quarterback in the future.
The second time wasn't his fault, so you can't blame that on Tyrod.
I'm not blaming anything on Tyrod. I'm just saying that
He's
Baker Mayfield and Justin Herbert, they're pretty darn good quarterbacks, and they backed up Tyrod Taylor and then he gets hurt, and then they're starters. But that Panthers defense is just rocking and rolling, and they got Run CMC in the backfield, and Sam Darnold is showing his true potential like I knew he always had. It was just a Jets thing. So
Zach Wilson is finding out.
Exactly.
He did throw 4 picks, so
I will go with the Panthers.
Okay, Titans, Colts.
Titans are coming off of a much-needed win versus the Seahawks after their loss in Week 1. Derrick Henry went off on the Seahawks over almost 150 yards. So, and the Colts, they're not really impressing me this year because they had so much potential going into this season. And then Carson Wentz gets hurt. He comes back. He gets hurt again.
Sprains both ankles?
But how do you sprain both ankles?
I don't know, man.
It's possible. You can break both ACL.
I'll go with the Titans.
Titans.
I say Carson Wentz comes up and he does something spectacular. So
he's out for this week.
He is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's the.
He's got the double sprained ankles.
Well,
Double sprained
I
ankle.
trust in Jacoby Brissett. So I say.
No,
Brissett's-
Brissett's on the Dolphins.
Yeah, he's on the
man.
Dolphins.
Really?
Yeah, I
He's
think
starting
they're-
this week because Tua's hurt.
I think the backup is Eason for the
Jacob
Colts.
Eason?
Yeah, Jacob Eason.
I don't trust Eason. I'm
No.
sorry. I go Titans. My brain is somewhere else. All right, we have 2 0-2 teams. You know, the Falcons, one of the worst teams ever, and the Giants,
Yeah.
without Eli, have never been good. So who are y'all taking? Honestly, I'll say NFC South all the way.
I'll go with the Giants. Think Kenny Galladay going, his potential coming out of the Lions. If he could go back to his performance when he was on the Lions, they could do something good because they're throwing the ball at Sterling Shepard a whole lot. If they can get both of them going, and Saquon Barkley going, I think this is a prove-it year for Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
He's coming up on a contract year, so if he don't get it done this year, they're probably going to move on from him. But I'll take the Giants.
I'll go Giants.
Okay. Saints, Patriots.
Yikes.
You got to go with the Patriots.
That's funny.
The shine is off with Jameis Winston. It was luck week 1.
Against Green Bay? Come
Yeah.
on, man.
I'm going to go Saints. I think Jameis will have a bounce back. And if not, I think they put Taysom Hill in the game and he sparks them to a victory.
We got a Super Bowl rematch between Brady and the Rams, both 2-0 in L.A.
It's going to be a very, very good game because Matthew Stafford is having an MVP quality year already just with 2 weeks.
Who would have thought anyone would say that?
Well, I've been
He's a great quarterback.
I've been
He was
liking
just with a
Matthew
horrible
Stafford
organization.
the whole time. He had Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones, Megatron. He had the weapons on offense, but it just seems like their defense never held up their side of the field. To me, that's why the Lions never did anything.
I say the defense is the Lions' ownership to stop them from winning and being successful, concerning the fact
Exactly.
that when they had Jim Caldwell, they were doing very well. But after 4 or 5 years, you fire him, hire somebody else, and then you go back down on the totem
Exactly.
pole.
But then you got Tom Brady. I just do not understand how this man is doing this. At 45 years old, 9 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks.
I drafted him for both of my fantasy leagues.
Yeah.
So I'm riding the Tom Brady wave.
Tom
right
Brady is he's going to get another ring this year.
I got Lamar Jackson as my starting quarterback because he's facing the Detroit Lions this week. So who
I'm in
wouldn't
about
do that?
5 leagues. I got Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott. So I got a lot of quarterbacks I'm riding on this year.
Justin Fields is getting his very first NFL start.
now. For the Bears.
Bears at Browns.
I think he's an exciting young player and he'll do well, but I think the Browns are a little more advanced as a team right now, so I'm going to go Browns.
The Bears have exactly what they need. They have all the parts. They just have to somehow put it together. And Andy Dalton was not the right fit for that team in my eyes. Justin Fields is going to get it done. I don't see him winning this week just because it's his first start, and they're going against a very, very good Browns team. So I'm going with the Browns.
It's been a long time since anybody could have said a very, very, very good Browns team.
Yeah.
But I'll go with the Browns. The worst game on the schedule and the last game to pick. Eagles at Cowboys.
Man,
It's a Monday night game, 7:15 on both
Wait,
ESPN
we
channels.
skipped some games.
yeah, there's no way that's the last game.
Well, I know Mr. Al got to get to class in a minute. So
All right, let's do a lightning round then. Cardinals, Jaguars.
Cardinals.
Cardinals,
Kyler Murray.
Ravens, Lions.
Ravens,
Ravens.
Bengals, Steelers.
Steelers,
Bengals.
Ooh, interesting. All right. Chiefs, Chargers.
Ooh,
Chargers.
yeah, Chargers.
All right. I'm going to go Chiefs. The Washington football team. I hate saying that. WFT, you want to say the other way. Against the Bills.
Bills.
The Bills.
They play week
Dolphins with Jacoby Brissett taking on the Raiders.
The Raiders.
The
Raiders. They're in the
Raiders.
hot streak.
Raiders
They're in the
are
hot streak.
the dark horse for this season.
Jets at Broncos.
Broncos.
0-2 at 2-0.
No fly zone.
Seahawks at the 0-2 Vikings.
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Seahawks. I'm going to go Vikings in that one. Packers. Coming off a good Monday night game at San Fran.
Rogers.
Well, as we were saying earlier about how the Lions' defense is terrible, that's how I feel Rodgers got the win this past week. So I'm going 49ers.
Me too. And then Eagles, Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I really like how Jalen Hurts is playing, but I really like how Dak is
Dak
playing.
Prescott is doing great. As I said, comeback player of the year. He's going to get it. Mark my word.
And MVP.
I think what's happened with the Cowboys is Coach Mike McCarthy, after last year, realizes if he doesn't do well this year, he's probably out. So
Right.
he's scrapping the commit to the run game, and he's going with what he coaches best, which is the passing game. And that's why you're seeing Dak putting up some big numbers. He's got great wide receivers. You know, it's nice to have Zeke, but he's not going to be the featured guy.
Well, it looked like week one, Dak threw for over 50 times that game.
Yeah.
And then this past week, they had Tony Pollard go for 100 yards and Zeke over 60 yards. So,
Do we
They
have
got-
a running back controversy on
I
our
mean, if you
hands?
got a two-headed monster, you can do anything.
A lot of weapons on that Cowboy
So-
team.
And they got Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. Michael Gallup's hurt. So
Yep.
they got a lot of potential. And then Micah Parsons on the defense. It's going to be Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
And he's having to play D-end as a linebacker because there's so many people hurt, but he got the job done last week. So,
Feels like CD Lamb will see the end zone a lot this year.
yeah.
I say fight, Eagles fight.
All right. Rolling with Jalen.
Yeah,
I don't
Jalen
like
Hurts is
either
doing
team.
really good, and that defense is doing better than a lot of people thought.
Yep.
And it's a first-year head coach in Nick.
Yeah.
Think about 3 years ago with with the Eagles. I mean, I'm sorry, with Alabama. They had Mac Jones, Tua, and Jalen Hurts.
That's right.
It's crazy. Crazy.
Now they're all starting.
Yep.
Yeah, and you can say the same thing for when they had Eddie Lacy,
Yeah.
Mark Henry,
Yeah.
and
Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram.
Yeah, Mark
and,
Mark
Derrick
Ingram
Henry.
and Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I don't think Mark Henry. That'd be a really, really good running back there, boy.
Be like the refrigerator.
well. Northwood has a refrigerator on their team at number 43, but Northwood is so small that their D lineman is their starting quarterback. So
Off to a good start, Northwood.
Yeah, they're getting wins.
Yeah. Yep. So, all right.
Well, it was good talking to everybody. I hope y'all have a great day, and we look forward to talking to you next Thursday. I'll see you later.